Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Thursday. And I'm going to go ahead and click that go live button over on Insta. All right. All right. Umo, I think we're live on Instagram too. Yay.
Yay! Hello,
Right. The girls
everyone.
are wearing green today. Right. We're ready
Yes,
to
such
go.
a great color.
I know it is. I love it. I try to wear a lot of green, just like what you were saying. All right,
Yes.
everybody. So I want to welcome you, Leslie Vitale here, business strategist and mentor, specifically for integrative functional practitioners. And that includes medical doctors, DOs, chiropractors. Gosh, I've been working with a lot of doctors of Chinese medicine lately, which is super cool.
Cool.
Registered dietitians, naturopaths, anyone in private practice, right? So, and I am really looking forward to my conversation today with the one and only and awesome Umo Callins. So,
Hello. I'm excited to be
Umo,
here, Leslie.
so happy to have you. One of my favorite.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, thank you. You're one of my favorite people too.
Yay, it was really fun. So I got to see Umo. We reconnected at Fancy in Minneapolis, which
Hmm.
was super fun. Really
So
enjoyed
much
getting
fun.
an opportunity to hang out. So, guys, let me tell you a little bit about what we have in store for you today. So, I think it is a really awesome topic and one that is really going to be worth your time today. So, we are going to be chatting about leading a group practice. So, a little bit of leadership
Yes.
weaved in, a little bit of strategy weaved in. The title of today is Beyond the Basics Building and Leading a Thriving Group Practice. And I do think this is perfect for any of you who are aspiring practice owners, established professionals looking to expand your practice. Because this session, we're going to offer some actionable takeaways so
Yes.
that you can elevate your impact and, of course, the all important income, right?
Yes.
So, all right. So I am, I think what I'll do is, well, I'm just going to ask you, Umo, to give us a little bit of the backstory, like where you live, what is the name of your business slash businesses, and
Yes.
give us the land. I think it'll be a little more exciting coming from you rather than me reading. So, yeah, how did
Yes.
you get to this place?
Oh, goodness. Passion, determination, and just being willing to work hard. Truth, 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 truth. So I'm Uma Callins. I'm a sports and fitness and media dietitian. I'm also a fitness coach. I've been doing all of the things for the past 16, 17 years. And I've always had an entrepreneurship spirit. I always knew coming into this profession that I wanted to do something unique, something that I didn't ever see, but I knew there was a need and it could be done. It was just a matter of how to get there. So I'm the owner of Well Rooted Health and Nutrition, which is my group practice. And
Okay.
I'm also the co owner of 180 Physique Athletics, which is a
Ooh.
sports performance training and sports nutrition business. So
Uh,
my lovely husband, wonderful husband, is my business
yeah.
partner and
Okay.
co-owner.
Okay. And okay, so basically you have two businesses, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
on one side you've got your private practice,
I
right?
do. Yes. That's
And
well rooted.
well rooted. All right. And then and this is where you've got the group practice, correct? So you've got
Yes.
other
Yeah,
ideas.
I have
Yeah.
I think there's a total of 5 additional dietitians on my team. They're all wonderful. They're all unique, hard workers. They love to serve. They love to grow. So I couldn't ask for a better team.
Oh, you've hit the jackpot just with that.
I really did. I'm so blessed. Like
Yeah.
they're just each so unique, so brilliant, so innovative, so excitable to serve their people.
All right. And then on the other side, you've got the gym. And I believe it's
Yes.
a whole new facility, right?
Yes, that was a labor of love.
So tell us, yeah, let's cover that a little bit first.
Yes.
So, like,
So,
how did this all come to be? And building a new, is this a new build?
yes, this was like
Woo.
new land, new everything from architecture, design, everything submitting all the permit, like the plans, permits. I mean, every single detail. This was the
Okay.
experience.
Whew, that is not a
Yes.
small feat.
No.
Yeah. What made you decide to do a whole new facility and a new build?
That's a great question. For the longest time, we operated our fitness facility, sports performance training facility. We would rent space, which was a great option for the longest. But where we are actually serving, where our hub is, we talked to one of our clients who happens to be a really great realtor, and she is a visionary, which of course
Okay.
we love that. And she was just like, gosh, you guys could honestly just do your own thing, get your own building, and invest. And so we were like, yeah, that was always the dream, but like to actually do it where we were doing it, or where we are, we never thought we would get such an incredible deal. Long story short, everything fell into place. And so we just, per usual entrepreneurship spirit, took the leap.
Okay.
We
So,
found the perfect spot.
okay, great. And then, what kind of services do you offer? Like, because obviously it's a
Yeah.
gym, right? So I got that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of training and things like that. But from a nutrition perspective, like how do these two businesses connect?
That's such a great question. So, we understand that we have something different and unique working with athletes, anybody that is just looking to boost their performance and be the best that they can be, even if it's just fitness and there's just personal goals, they need the fueling aspect. So, it's very rare to see the two together in one space. And so, we offer that sports nutrition consulting. We also work with teams, local teams, and coaches to provide services that they need. And we are all about fueling the athlete and training the athlete so they can just be better all around. And our focus is preventing injury, improving performance, and really just making sure their recovery is as best as it can be so that they can have that longevity and not just be a great athlete, but use these tools to just help them with their overall health.
Okay, that is amazing. And for anyone that's just hopping on, Umo is in Oklahoma City. So,
Yes.
which is, are you from Oklahoma
Right in
City?
the middle.
Are you okay? Are you from that area or are you
Yeah.
transplant? Okay, so born
Yeah,
in,
so I was born in Norman, Oklahoma, home of the Sooners, Boomer Sooner. I'm alum, and then I went to school here in Oklahoma City, just stayed, and I love it. So much opportunity here, so much that's going on here, so many people moving here. So it's a great place to be.
and I know people are really into their sports.
Oh yeah, it is all
Really
about softball, baseball. Of course,
huge.
we have the Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
we love our sports here.
yes, it's pretty huge, which is super fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's kind of change gears then and talk about the well-rooted
Yes.
practice. So that is your nutrition practice. And
Yes.
tell us a little bit about like when did you start this business, and maybe about the evolution to moving into a group. Like when did you decide to
Yeah.
hire others? What led you to making that decision?
Oh, this is such a wild story. So I've always been rooted, no pun intended,
Yeah.
in sports and fitness. And so that's always been my thing. But for the longest, I always had people asking, can you serve like the everyday person? Like, can you work with just someone that just wants to, lose weight or wants to improve their health overall through nutrition? And it was always a thing, but never a real draw and focus for me. But as I've kind of gone through life, and I'm a mom of three, I mean, I wear many hats. I was just like, you know what, there's a pull and a tug here. And so Well Rooted was birthed because of that vision. And I actually had a very short experience in private practice with a different group.
Okay.
And I just knew that for me, I had a vision of what I wanted to do, how I wanted it to be, who I wanted to serve, what I wanted my audience to see, and my clients that I work with to gain from the experience. And so it just worked out. So this was in 2019. I was just like, okay, let me do all the things. I got with a mentor and just asked them questions about just the very basics of, hey, name, all that. I have a really good friend who is a small business attorney who was also my small business attorney. And we just kind of got together, and well-rooted health and nutrition was birthed, because my goal is to really make sure that everybody has that firm foundation, and then we just kind of build from that. So interestingly enough, I was able to, LinkedIn is a great platform, by the way. I was on LinkedIn, and a obesity medicine physician reached out to me out of nowhere, and was just like, hey, I'm gonna launch my practice, and I would like to look for a dietitian that wants to be independent, but maybe share the same space, same suite, and maybe cross refer. And I was like, this is too good to be true. This is like everything was aligning. So we met, had that agreement. And I will say that Well Rooted was birthed in September 2019. Then you know what came up quickly after that, right? If you do the math. COVID.
I do.
So Well Rooted was very successful from the beginning. But then, of course, I got a little bit scared and like, okay, what is the scope of nutrition, insurance, all of that? What does it look like? So I decided again to get with another great mentor till this day. Love her. She's such a great friend, Amy Plano. And I was just like, hey, what do we do? Like, what should I do? I'm only like 5 months in here. And with a little bit of guidance and helping me extend my vision, I was able to grow exponentially. I got to the point within about 6 months, I think I just couldn't fit anymore on my books. And so I had to expand. And that's when the group practice was evolved. Okay. Yeah. So it's always been a vision of mine to do that, but it happened a lot faster.
Oh, interesting. So just to be clear, were you a cash-based practice initially and then you transitioned to insurance when COVID hit?
No, I was always my goal was to always be hybrid. So I take private pay as well as insurance. Okay. And unlike some other individuals, other dietitians, I elected to do all of my credentialing, all of my billing, everything myself, because I wanted to have a very deep knowledge of the nitty-gritty ins and outs. Smart. And to this day, I am so happy I took that route, because even onboarding each of my dietitians, I've done it all. So it's been great.
Oh gosh, because otherwise, if you just let somebody else do all that, yeah, your knowledge is really lacking.
Exactly.
And if things are going off the rails until you have a really big problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot more effort, but you still do all your own billing and everything.
It's all about systems and streamlining. So I currently do, just because it's easy. Okay. In true fashion. I mean, my system is very seamless. It's just like a click, click, click. Okay. And there may be a time to where I decide to not, but there's no reason for me to not at this time. So I'm all about systems and efficiency.
And Penelope, hello, good afternoon. Happy to have you.
Hi, Penelope.
Awesome. All right. So, so 2019 hit. Yeah. Things got a little crazy.
Very. So weird.
Very much in the brick and mortar, I'm assuming, kind of a
yes.
Like everybody. Yes. Verse, and then that C word hit, right? And
yes,
we had to make some fast changes.
Yes. And so it was very easy to be like, should I just fold this or push forward and just see what happens?
A lot of people had their best years though. It was a lot of fear. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. No. I remember that. Oh my God, what is happening here? Yeah, a lot of crazy uncertainty and fear, and the whole world's just shutting down. It was so scary. Yeah. But I have heard that so many people had their best years ever.
It was a really great year for me. I mean, even with so much craziness happened that year, we were actually building our new home as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking back, it's like, you take everything, you take every experience. I'm always like, it's all about perspective. I'm like, if I did that year and my business grew exponentially very quickly while building a house, while dealing with three small children, I think they were like 4, 3, and 1 at the time. Yeah, I think we're okay,
And did you have all the kids at home? Because
Yeah. So what's wild is that we were, due to everything shutting down, literally, we were limited on where we could stay. So we had to like move out when everything shut down. Luckily, we were able to get into like, an apartment as our home was getting ready to finish being built. Um, but it was wild. It was just like,
yeah.
it was crazy. So yeah.
So, okay. So basically what led you to expand into the group model is
Yeah.
reach capacity. You had no more
Yeah.
to sell.
No, and I always wanted the whole purpose of well-rooted health and nutrition was to create a space for dietitians to truly be able to practice authentically and have that freedom, build their own practice within a practice, but also still have that ability to feel like they're on a team, a solid team, and just have that camaraderie in their profession. So it just happened a little bit faster than I thought. But again, it was really a blessing in disguise because I also have my niche. I have the people that I prefer to work with. And so now that I have more dietitians that have, they're specialized in gut health and pediatrics and, all of these other areas, then we can serve more people. So it's really nice.
Okay. Yeah, I want to dig into that. I wanted to ask our audience, let us know where you are in this journey. Are you interested in opening a group practice? Are you solo right now? Are you cash pay, insurance? Give us a little background. It'd be helpful. Then we can kind of steer the conversation in such a way that, is going to be helpful for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, all right. So I do want to ask you, so I think you said you have 5 dietitians. Are they actual employees or are they contractors? Like how
They're
does
contractors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know in different it's like if you're in California, is my understanding, like they pretty much have to be employees.
Yeah, and luckily we don't have those strict laws here. And it works out really nicely just because, again, I'm very much of the idea and encourage my team, hey, you can do other things. Like, you know what I mean? If it's speaking, if it's all these other different avenues, they have that flexibility. And it is more of a practice feel within a practice. So it's really nice.
Okay, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
and then does each dietitian have his or her own specialty? Is that
For
how
the
you
most part, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, I mean, I think all of us would say that we have experience in weight management. I mean, that's a very common need.
Mhm.
But I have a dietitian that works with peds. I have a dietitian that really, really, really works and specializes with like severe eating disorders.
Mhm.
A couple of my other dietitians deal with eating disorders as well. I have one that deals with gut health and autoimmune diseases,
Mhm.
neurological conditions,
Okay.
diabetes. I mean, all of it. So it's so nice because our my assistant can just kind of filter that out and say, okay, what's the
Oh,
need, or look at the referrals, and then
okay.
immediately schedule the clients with dietitians, the
I was
dietitian that would
gonna
best
ask you
serve
how
those
you
people.
triage and assign
Yes.
patients to the right dietitian. So it's your assistant that does that.
Yes, and we also very much encourage self-booking. So you go to our website, there's a booking link just about everywhere. Our
Okay.
voice message says, hey, you can self-book this on our website. So that works out really well, and we get a lot of leads that way, just because it's simple.
Okay, love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about, the skills that you
Mhm.
need in order to be
Yeah.
successful at this role because you're the CEO, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
it'd
Yes.
be a lot. So what would you say the skills are if you can define some of those for the rest of us who might be considering moving into such a role?
There are a lot of skills I definitely feel that is going to be great to have. So being organized, thinking outside the box,
Mhm.
being patient and understanding, but at the same time, making sure that you do set clear guidelines, expectations, boundaries. It's very easy to work nonstop. So setting boundaries for yourself is very important too, so that
Okay.
you don't burn out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And leadership, I would imagine.
Leadership, absolutely. Leadership, knowing how to lead, being willing to accept constructive criticism, just like we give it as well, because that just makes you a better leader.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, leadership is huge. And leadership is not just by, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do, but it's also leading by example.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would imagine possibly a degree of teaching.
Yes, a degree of teaching I definitely think would be great, but I also feel like there are just some of those personalities that just it just works. You know what I mean? But definitely, if you don't have that degree in teaching, getting some additional education. I am a firm believer in getting coaching, continuing education, a course, whatever is going to allow you to be even better, a better leader, a better, colleague, all of it.
So, how did you find such good people? Because I got to tell you, that
I
is
don't know.
like that is
It's
seriously
just a blessing.
the biggest challenge is finding good people that you
Yeah.
trust. How in the heck did you do that?
I honestly, I'll say that there were some hit and misses. It wasn't just smooth sailing. Not everybody was a good fit. And it was usually a mutual understanding that, hey, this may not be the best fit for you. But the ones that are here, it is just like we just, it's there's a culture within Well Rooted that's special.
Oh,
It's nothing that's forced. We all just really love to serve people and help people. And we all have a sense of humor. I'm really laid back. I'm not uptight. So that doesn't really work for
there's
my group.
personality, but not.
Yeah. Yeah. To be relaxed, really feel like they can be themselves,
Yeah.
and a passion and desire to grow professionally as well is really great
Mhm.
about my team. So one of my dietitians, actually, we knew each other from a previous practice and within our circle. Another dietitian was referred to me by a colleague. Another dietitian actually used to be a client of mine. So it's just kind of like it's just worked out in very unique ways, but it's been like I seriously mean it when I say I couldn't ask for a better team.
Oh gosh,
Like
that
they are amazing.
I mean that's half of it right there, at least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And we encourage each other. It's never a thing of like, hey, like competition. It's like, no, it's like we collaborate, we help each other grow. My dietitians know that they can ask me questions. I even ask them questions like, hey, what do you think about this? And so it's just been great to see like the continuous growth within each individual.
Mhm.
It's just beautiful,
So good.
special.
And how long have they, well, you opened in 29, or you made the shift in 2019.
Yes,
Some have
2019.
been with you since that time?
No, not all of them. I want to say my longest has been 2021.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so we've just kind of grown. Yeah, it's just been like year by year, we've at least added another staff member, I feel like, with the exception of no, yeah, every year.
Okay.
But it's been great.
All right. So the question of the day is,
Ooh.
how do you divide your time? Because this is really like, this is the
Ooh.
challenge that
Yeah.
practice owners have, but I would imagine it's magnified for you being in a group practice. So, how do you divide your time between working in versus on the business, right? So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
delivering the service to, because I
Yeah.
have a passion for that,
Yes.
versus, being strategic, putting on your CEO hat, growing the business.
Yes.
So, what does
Yeah.
it look like?
It that has definitely been a constant, challenge. I mean, I think the challenge is it changes just because as your business grows, as your business shifts, you have to figure out that balance. You're constantly figuring out what the balance looks like in that season.
Mhm.
So for me, what I can say is that I am working more like on my business than in my business, meaning that I'm trying to do my best to take care of my team, making sure that, we're still efficient, their needs are being met, putting out fires sometimes when I need to, right? So I've had to take back or cut back on how many clients I do see. And really, that was tough for a lot of people that just couldn't book with me anymore.
Oh,
But,
yeah, I
you
would.
know, but the message has always been that like we are all amazing. And so just because you're not going to work with me anymore or at all doesn't mean that you're not going to have an amazing experience. And so that is something that may be tough if you are transitioning from a solopreneur to an entrepreneur, and then having a group practice is being able to figure out like exactly what that balance looks like and what makes sense for you in the season that you're in. But it's doable. You just, like I said before, have to set those tough, firm boundaries for yourself, and then also make sure that you communicate that with your team.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
are your services different? Like, because one thing I see people do is, okay, if you work with me, the owner, it's a like higher priced, or it's a cash program, like a coaching program. So what does that look like?
Yeah, it really depends. So like on this, like within the group, definitely. Like you're not working with me unless you are dealing with sports and fitness and you just are using the insurance model, right? Like that's what I provide. And a lot of the people that I work with often do need some sort of like nutrition plan or something else more specific. So there always is that additional add-on. And then, they're aware that that's an additional price and that's separate from insurance. And so, yeah, those additional revenue streams are definitely great in that regard. Yeah. Programs is definitely something, I'm considering in the future, but with what I've got going on right now, my programs are more in the other business with my athletes. And so, yeah.
Okay.
That are and strictly on the 180 side.
Are you doing any groups?
We are going to launch a group in the spring. That's our goal for next year. So since we've had to do a lot of just like rearranging, regrouping, getting into this space, we knew that we were going to be faced with a lot of stuff, and not necessarily bad things, but just a lot of new, right? Like figuring out, okay, this is where we are. This is our layout. This is who's coming. And these are the different things that we're doing. So we are actually in the process of having, I guess you could say, more of a robust and complete service that we're providing our athletes, and that we're partnering with PTs. We're doing like more thorough assessments, everything from, okay, let's look at your actual, what we call your vertical in sports, and we test that, and then including nutrition as part of a full package. So that's our big push for really 2025 launching. We're actually in the process of revamping our whole entire website. We have an app coming. So to answer your question, yes, but we really want to make sure that we have all these things in place before we do, just because those groups are going to be a completely different experience with those added bells and whistles.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a whole new, different kind of model for sure.
Oh yeah.
Glad to hear it.
To have everything under one roof is like so neat. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. I want to hear, because I know that you do media.
Yes.
I want to hear a little bit about that as well. So specifically, how do you leverage the media to grow your business?
That's a great question. So I do local TV segments just about monthly. I actually didn't do one in October just because I had a lot of family stuff and that was priority for me then. But yeah, I do them monthly, and it's been great just because you get to reach a huge audience in a very unique way. They're fun. You get to showcase your business, who you are as a dietitian professional, and that really does give you that higher level of credibility. So now you have this different ability, different way of marketing yourself and your services and your practice in a way that you maybe haven't before. So it's definitely something I encourage all dietitians to do if they can.
Okay, excellent. So did you reach out and pitch yourself to these local organizations?
Yeah, it's definitely good to have a good network of people. I'll say that. So my process was a little bit easier than others, but I
Uh,
did reach out to the station and just said, "Hey, yeah, I would love to come on and do a segment." It was a very smooth yes, yes, yes,
okay.
and this would be the great time. This is a very high viewing time segment, and so the rest was history. We just
Cool.
wanted me to keep coming back, so it's really been fun, and you can also leverage that in working with brands as well.
Oh, I want to hear about that. So let's segue to
Yeah,
brands in a second.
yeah,
Um, so for people on today's session who are
yeah.
wanting to maybe dip their toe, so
Hmm.
when you reached out, did you email them? Like, how do you know who to email? And do you pick
Yeah.
a specific concept?
Yes, I definitely think so. As far as who to email, you would always, what I recommend is going to the website and seeing if they have someone that's associated with what's called an assignment desk. So the
Okay.
person that basically is over all of the segments and kind of, review that in case by case basis. If you do have that contact, you would email them, and ideally something that is unique, catching, that you believe that their audience would really be interested in. So with that being said, it's always best to do your research, right? Like before you reach out. Okay, so like what is this TV station about? What's the vibe? What are some of the segments that and maybe other disciplines that are on there? And then like what do you look at their metrics online? You can definitely find that. What's their audience? And then with all of that knowledge, come up with something that's really fun and that that viewers would really appreciate.
Okay. So, yeah, so it sounds like you do a little research, you go on the
Yeah,
website, figure out the person to email,
exactly.
and you do pitch a concept.
Yeah, and it could be something as simple as, okay, holidays are coming up, so I would love to come on to the segment and share some really easy, delicious sides.
Oh,
And
cool.
something as simple as that.
Oh,
Or if this is, for instance, diabetes month, so maybe even showcasing some, beverages for the holidays that are diabetes friendly, things like that. They're real catchy, but also that for sure people would really be interested in.
okay. So like some of us are not
Yeah.
super culinary oriented. Like
Yes.
I can't think of honestly a worse nightmare. Seriously, it would be so if
Oh my gosh.
TV, like it absolutely makes me like freak out if I had to
Oh gosh.
any kind of like culinary ability on
Yeah.
like I seriously could break out in hives.
Well, then showcase your favorite products. So, for instance, my platform, people know that if they come to my social media page or if they're seeing any tips I share on a segment, it is quick, easy, simple, practical.
Okay.
Because as a mom of three that's very busy, an entrepreneur, multi business owner, like that's what I need. So I can relate. It's credible. It is something I can speak to. So with
Okay.
your situation, Leslie, like you could absolutely showcase these are my go-tos and
Okay.
this is why. And here's the health benefits.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
people want that too. People really want
Okay. Okay.
that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of us just aren't wired that way. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
for myself, like I'm more of a clinical kind of a person, right? But yeah, having to actually roll up my sleeves and yeah, that would just be sad. You know what? It would be a comedy. It would be a
Oh, I bet you would do amazing.
uh I just
You
couldn't.
could go on and like showcase a gourmet peanut butter and jelly
Oh,
sandwich.
right. That I can do.
See?
Can do, right? Peanut butter and fluff. Remember fluff?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
Oh
let's
man.
talk a little bit about, or I can make a hell of a smoothie.
Oh,
That
there you go. Everybody wants a smoothie, and this is such a misconception that you only do them in the summer or spring. It is year round.
oh, yeah, I do
Year
them
round.
right. And so easy and a good way to get those cruciferous vegetables, right?
Absolutely. So much nutrition and could be so filling. It's buildable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's segue into brand work.
Yeah.
So can you give us any tips on, pursuing that angle?
Yes, I definitely feel like, Honestly, if you've never done media before, media training is always good to look into. Working with someone or doing some sort of course that gives you just the basics when it comes to media. So even if that's just looking at the academy and what they have to offer, it's a good starting point. Just because there are so many specific things that you need to know, even from a legal standpoint,
Mhm.
that is good to have in your toolbox before you communicate and reach out to brands. But I will say that is such a great opportunity, again, to develop more credibility for yourself, be it being quoted in media outlets, working with brands on an advisory board. You
Mm.
just get so much knowledge. It's another revenue stream. And it can be a lot of fun. And it doesn't always have to be like face front stuff. It doesn't have to be social media. You can do a lot of stuff on the back end, develop healthcare practitioner toolkits. I mean, so many opportunities in the media space.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm sure
Yeah. It's
lots of
fun.
people here would be interested in that. Are there like some first steps that you would recommend in order just to kind of, move forward on this?
Yeah, I definitely would say like figure out like what that would look like for you. Like how would you love to partner with a brand?
Mhm.
How would being a media spokesperson look like for you? So there again, it's about personality sometimes. Some people are like, absolutely not. I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be on social media. Yeah, not my thing. And so maybe you want to go into doing more writing, blogging,
Yeah.
and that type of space, right? Or maybe you are really creative and you're like, okay, I want to develop a lot of actual handouts for these different brands that they can, then have on their site and have consumers have access to. So start with figuring out like, how would you like to be a good media partner? Like in what ways? And then go from there.
Yeah, I one of my clients actually had a brand reach out to her
Oh,
recently.
nice.
Yeah, which is super cool. She's very excited
Yeah.
and loves the product. And one
Yes.
of the things that she's doing is she is writing blogs for them,
Wonderful.
right? Which is so good because
Yes.
then, she gets that SEO boost
Exactly.
from getting that backlink, right? So
Absolutely. One
that's
example of many.
yeah, it's just one of many, right? And it really
Hmm.
works for her because she's super busy. She
Exactly.
can do that on her own time. And
Yeah.
yeah, and she loves the brand. Of course, you got to love the brand.
Yeah, you gotta love the brand. It has to be in alignment with who you are as an expert and what you really believe in. That's so important. You want it to be authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, super
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I mean, like I love partnering with brands. The way I do it is
Yeah.
to do educational programs for
Love
their
that.
people, right? So I look for brands that serve my target audience, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I love doing presentations and webinars and
Yes. And you're so amazing at it.
oh, thank you.
Like amazing. Effortless.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
it's just fun. And that honestly has really been my go-to in building both my nutrition practice as well as my current role as,
Yeah.
strategic partner for practitioners. So
Yeah.
it's
I
really
love it.
opened a lot of doors for me. And, it's just a matter of like, in terms of what I do is I just sit down and go, who else is serving my target audience,
Yes.
in a different way? And how can I approach them and make
Hmm.
it a win-win?
Yeah,
Right?
make it that connection that works for everybody involved. And that is such a good point, making sure that, okay, who is your target audience? Who do you speak to? And then what brands are also have the same target audience or would fit into being able to speak to your target audience? Yeah.
Exactly.
So I
It,
had a call earlier with a brand actually, and it was really interesting because we were talking about their 2025 vision and what their marketing message is going to be. And they're just like, we are all about simplicity and this is our target audience. And I mean, when you know that and it's in alignment with what your focus is, it's like the possibilities are truly endless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, just even things like that could really be a win. I mean, I've worked with dietitians who,
Yeah.
this is an example, right? Like, I can think of a few who specialize
Hmm.
in Crohn's and colitis. So
Oh,
IBD,
yeah. Good
and
one.
simply reaching out to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation in their local chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brand, right?
Absolutely.
Getting in with them, getting access to their local audience, and then eventually,
Hmm.
it is a matter of know, like, and trust. Uh,
Yes.
Eventually, they were able to get access to the national audience,
Nice.
listed on, as a practitioner, right?
Oh,
Preferred.
wonderful.
Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's maybe a little different slant to working with brands, but
It's
it
still very effective and, like you said, mutually beneficial.
absolutely, yeah. So super exciting. So, any kind of final words of wisdom as we start to wrap up?
Yes, I say that if you have an itch to expand your business, take the leap. Take the leap, it's worth it. It can be a great additional revenue stream as well, and you can really bless others by being able to grow your own practice. So possibilities are endless, and it is a lot of work, in the front end, but once you find your system, it can be very nice, smooth, and seamless.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
take the leap.
Take the Yeah, guys, I just think it's
Yeah.
such a great model. Um,
Hmm.
I will say from a business perspective, like I've helped lots of people in the cash model grow
Yeah.
a cash-based, practice with multiple
Yeah.
practitioners. So it really is doable. In the insurance model, I almost feel like it's a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah, it's like free marketing. People just find you. It's like,
yeah. And when you find yourself getting
yeah,
filled up and you're like, "Ooh, I don't have enough
yeah,
more time," I would
yeah,
say definitely at that point you want to really start thinking about how can you take your business to that next level. You know,
right.
the next best thing to cloning yourself is,
It's growing.
hiring other people and,
Yeah,
having them take on more of the patient or client load and,
yeah,
and then, like you said, Uma, we have to strike a balance with
yes.
the practice
It's so
owner.
important.
So that is going to be really critical to your success because you do need to step into that CEO role, right?
Right,
Looking for,
right,
you're the visionary,
right. And you
which
have to do it with confidence and just, yeah, you have to be all in.
I'd be all in for sure. Because these, your people are looking up to you. And
Yeah,
so, but yeah, just really would encourage you to take that leap. And yeah, I think it's a great way to grow. I really, really want to encourage everyone here to look at doing that. All
yeah.
right, so we're gonna wrap for the day. It was great to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really love seeing your names. Can
Thanks
see
for joining.
are on Instagram. So thanks for joining us. And Umo, awesome to see you as always.
So good to see you, Leslie. I mean, you're such amazing. I tell so many people about you. So yes, thank you for who you are and what you do for so many, by the way.
Say that again.
So thank you for who you are and what you do for so many, what you've done and what you do for so many. You're amazing.
Oh gosh, thank you. I love what I do. And I got to tell you guys, it's just, I always say the world's your oyster, right?
Yes.
We have such good training as clinicians. And, sometimes it just is challenging to take that body of knowledge and, put it into a
Yes.
profitable business model. So if that is you, if you're kind of struggling with that part, then I always invite you, let's have a chat and just kind of
Work with Leslie.
help. Yeah, I really do
She'll
love.
take care of you.
I'll take good care of you is right. All right, Umo, great to see you as always.
Good to see you too.
And truly, thank you for sharing your wisdom with everybody.
Absolutely.
Super
Thanks for having me.
inspiring, right? So
Well,
guys, go out and take that leap. Think about your next step. How are you going to grow in 2025? That is the question,
yes.
right?
Think big.
Think big, because so much of it is just up here, right?
It is.
So much.
Just get out of all the stinking thinking and just execute, move, take action.
All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again, Umo. Love seeing
Thanks,
you.
Leslie. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.